if it was the Backstreet Boys, you know, someone liked Nick and someone liked...
They're just the cool kids, you know?
Nah, they was popping back then. I definitely got put on G Unit like a bit later, like 2006, you know? Later on, you know, 50 dropping them hits.
Yeah.
You know, like, mostly single hits like Candy Shop.
Candy Shop,
like,
oh my
Yeah,
God.
oh God.
Window Shopper and stuff like that, you know, but... yeah,
Whole
shit.
nother mood.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah, just not gangster at all. Just...
Nah, yeah, definitely, yeah. And bitches love it. Sorry.
I'm waiting for that to come back.
Huh?
Like that 50.
Yeah, man.
I'm waiting for that to come back.
I know. He used to he was a master at like songwriting.
Oh, yeah.
At like hooks.
And his flow,
Yeah.
like his cadence, man.
Oh my God.
I don't think he writes his stuff though. Those type of songs,
Yeah.
like the love kind of like romantic 50 Cent style, I don't think he writes those stuff. He might have help from...
he might have help.
Yeah, got help from other people, but you know 50 is mostly like that gangster type of rapper, artist, you know what I mean? Like,
I think he did write that. I think that's all 50. Like, his songs are so distinct. That's like one thing. When 50's on the beat, the way he just attacks it, like no matter what he's talking about, even if he's talking about like whatever, he just attacks it his own way. Like, I don't think anybody could like write it for him, you know?
Well, he is a lyricist.
Definitely.
I didn't discover him. Until Get Rich or Die Trying. I think that's where a lot of people discovered him. But his albums before that, like Power of the Dollar, and maybe the other one might have been just self-titled. But he's like rapping, like spitting bars, you know.
That was before he got signed and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
before Eminem and Dre picked him up, and he's like writing 16s, like very like with the skill level of, you know, like he had a Nas on one of his songs, and he could go like bar for bar with Nas and stuff. So like that's saying something, right? When he could hold his own as a lyricist, but then he, you know, he got that $1 million advance.
Yeah.
You start working with Dr. Dre, and then you're just making hits. Like,
it's on hits.
Changes the whole perspective. But
now, what happened to 50 though? You know, like,
what do you mean?
Since 2011 or 12.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't really heard anything from. He's not really into music anymore.
But
it's more like movies.
I feel like
and
as
stuff.
an artist, like he's already gotten to that point. Like imagine, like it's funny. Like imagine he got to that point where it's like all types of people can listen to 50 Cent. Like mothers who look at other people like him on the street, like, you know?
Yeah.
But then it's like they embracing his culture through his music and shit like that. Like
it was very approachable. A lot of his music, it appealed to a lot of people.
Exactly.
You know, people that weren't even would consider themselves like quote unquote rap fans. Like you know, like PIMP. Remember all those songs? Like they were playing those in the dollar store, like every fucking where. Everybody, it didn't matter. It was just like it was fun music. It was easy to listen to. But yeah, it's too bad. Like he took a bit of a dip, and then he started you know, he did the whole vitamin water thing, and he just became like a businessman a bit.
Yeah, he's more of a businessman.
Power. Like he's
Who would you say is the new 50 Cent of this era of hip hop right
Of this
now?
era? Oh, that's a really good question. I mean, Jay-Z is still kind of a thing, isn't he? He hasn't disappeared into obscurity quite yet. And, you know, he's a businessman. But are you talking about...
I'm talking about like new artists. I haven't really seen any new artists from the past, I would say 5 years or 10 years since the Drake era.
Yeah.
You know, up till now, like that's like a good lyricist when it comes to gangster rap, and also as an hustler, like you know, like 50 Cent. Like I'm just trying to, I haven't seen anybody that matches that level of, you know.
I hear you. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's it's so saturated now with just all the online rappers, and it's hard to keep up with everybody and learn everybody's story and where they come from.
Everybody's style and stuff.
Everyone want to claim a gangster though. And that's a new way to come into the hip hop industry. You know, that's why it's hardest to get booked for murders and.
But I think now it's like,
I
think now it's like, yo, if you're gonna claim that shit, like people are making you come with your receipts. Like, yo, you know, no, like, seriously, like,
proof,
it's funny, like, those same people that act like that, you could already tell if they're about it or not. Like, and it's just, and that's not what it's about. Like, people who make that type of music, like, I don't really think it's about the violence. I think there's a story that comes from talking about the violence. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing that I think I want to see start to change. Like, that stuff doesn't need a trend. Like, because these people, like, the people who listen to our music and stuff, like, all local artists, they really do got an effect on the younger kids.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yes.
Like, and it's like, you don't even realize it. You don't even realize that there are already people that are, like, actually listening to your music, and, like, it changes their mentality and the way they think about things. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's just like...
Yeah, we was just talking about that the other day, too, like, with our own music. It's like, you know, like, before putting out stuff, like, checking the content, starting becoming something we watch out for, you know, like, usually it's easy to just record a song
and let it all out.
Just say whatever, freestyle, talk about the regular thing every other artist talking about, you know, like fucking bitches or doing drugs, you know, the gangster stuff. But personally, we thought about actually making sense in the content and delivering a message, you know, through your content, you know, with your music, you know. At the end of the day, that's what's gonna last forever, you know. Like, when you listen to people like Tupac, you know, the music,
like, the message is timeless.
You know, the message in the music till now, Biggie, and, you know, it still sends a message to people.
Totally.
And that's what I feel like new artists should do. And, you know, with the content, instead of just saying whatever
lying
in the songs, you know what I mean?
Instead of putting on that persona and like you just said, lying, but and just being about the entertainment, making it more like something that someone can relate to, that they might be going through in their own life, and you can actually help them, like connect with them on a deeper level.
I think people can really tell, like, an artist who's real. Like, it really shows in their passion for their music, and, like, literally when people just meet you and it's just like, you're not, they just know, like, you know what I mean? Like, they can tell from the way you...
Just bring that a little bit closer to you. Yeah.
Like, they catch that real vibe off of you.
Yes.
If it's real. Like, when it's fake, it's like, bro...
People can see right through that, and then it might get a little bit of attention right away, but it won't last. It's just going to come and go like a trend, you know, or like whatever it is. So yeah, man, like, that's good that you guys are consciously starting to be aware of that and think that through, like, from start to finish, before you just write some bars and get on the mic. You know?
Well, it's like, and from experience though, like, because like when we first started and stuff like that, there was no no censorship, like. Just talking about what it was.
It was, you know, and it's hard though. It's hard to take your music from that, you know, amateur level, you know, with your content and your music and your lyrics, to that professional, not necessarily professional, but like that.
Like, what are you talking about?
Type of
like,
music that has a content.
Are you talking about, like, your skill set as an artist, like developing it?
Your skill set and your lyrics, you know, like your content in your music, you know, like, it's not easy. Like, it's easy to do this other stuff. Like, you just talk about, you get high and, you know, get on the mic.
It's like one thing to know how to rap, but then it's another thing to actually, like, construct that into a message. It's so easy to just spit bars and, like, it sounds sick, but it's like constructing that into a message and, like, developing it as an actual song instead of just, like, rapping and, like, a random hook.
You'd be surprised, man, how many people don't, like, understand song structure. Like, they just have bars, and then they'll come record, and it's like, it's just like the beat, and then it's 32 bars, and I'm like, okay, where's your hook? Like, where's the dynamic changes? Like, is the listener gonna get bored here listening to you go on for a minute and a half? Like,
just go off.
Do you have an intro? Is there gonna be a bridge? Like, these are all things that are built into every single song that's ever been released and is connected with people. But behind the scenes, you know, the average person, they're just listening to the music. They're not deconstructing it in their head and seeing all the pieces.
Like the message you're constructing.
So there's something to be said for that, man, to understand, like you said, get really good at your lyrics, but but beyond that, get really good at song structure too.
Yeah.
The timing too. I don't know if that's something that you went over when you were at Nimbus a little bit, but I remember
I learned a lot, from going to Nimbus.
Yeah.
About music and song structure, like you just said, like the impact of
like the technical side,
like the technical side of music, not just we usually just make music, get on the mic, not really. There's not an intro, there's not a hook, there's not a pre-chorus, a chorus, a verse. It's just you just get on the mic, you just sing a rap to however you feel to it. You know what I mean? And that's just the amateur way of of being an artist, of making music. I learned a lot about the technical side of music, going to Nimbus, and it's just a lot of
even
knowledge
the industry,
and
like branding, marketing, like it's not just about telling everyone you have a link out. Like people don't realize that there's marketing and there's ways of engagement. Like you could get the views, you could buy the likes, you could buy whatever you want, but it's like the engagement of what really shows is like, do people even care if your music's about to drop, or like
being consistent and constantly putting it out there repeatedly. Like one Instagram post is just going to disappear into obscurity. You got to be consistent
people just
with
scroll
it.
by that.
Totally
you know what I mean?
Scroll by it.
Even if you're doing like the paid sponsorship, it's like you're just like hard. It's like going to a door and knocking and trying to sell someone something. You haven't even introduced yourself as an artist. Like you haven't even let people like get to know you. You just boom, check out my song. Why?
Yeah.
Everybody makes music nowadays.
Yeah. You got to stand out. You got to find ways to stand out. And some people are taking that to the extreme. With face tattoos and rainbow hair. Like I bring this up every episode, but like you've got like that side of it. But then it's nice to see that you still have the real lyricists and the people like J. Cole and Kendrick and stuff like that they can just show up in a black t-shirt, but it's about the music and it's about the song and it's about the lyrics, and that's not dead yet, which I hope that never dies. I hope that real lyricism in hip-hop and all that, like there's still a market for that, and there's still the diehards and the people that grew up on 90s hip-hop that are still actively seeking that. But it's super saturated now, and it's tough. It's tough to just like
where do you think hip-hop's
swim through
heading?
all the bullshit.
Where do you think hip-hop's heading?
I don't know. We were talking about this. I was talking to a producer about this last week, but I don't know. Like I'm wondering if the trap drum sound is going to be replaced soon. Like if that's going to be
style.
If we're gonna if it's gonna be dance hall that kind of turns into hip hop. Like Drake kind of was like playing with that a little bit, but like the beats that people rap on nowadays, this is a whole new thing. 10 years ago, this sound did not exist at all.
And it's just branching off into subgenres and melodic trap, and then you got drill trap. Like
what Drake did with One Dance and Controller. I looked at that song. I was talking to a
legend,
ADAV, artist development instructor at my school.
Okay. Yep.
And we was talking about Drake, Controller, and One Dance, and that's not really hip hop when you look at it. When you look at the beat and you deconstruct the beat, style. And it's afrobeat. Yeah, that's from Africa. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I grew up in Africa. That's what I grew up listening to. This Afrobeats. Like Afrobeats / pop.
Right. Right.
Like look how like that culture's like started to become part of like mainstream hip hop and stuff
now.
And nobody knew Wizkid 5 years ago. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's funny,
and it's big because like, when someone like Drake does that, and a lot of people don't recognize this is an African sound.
Yeah, they don't know the roots of it. They just see Drake.
They just see Drake
and hear that, and they're like, "Oh, I like this," but not understanding the history behind it, where it all came from.
I think that's a new style.
But it shines light like on like look at this now. Like Casanova went to Nigeria. Like Migos has been to Nigeria. Like his work with Wizkid has like shined light on the Afro Hall sound and like on all those other artists. all these artists are going to Africa. Like, that wasn't really a big thing.
Look how much he did with just a couple songs.
Exactly, right?
He like revitalized a whole genre and culture with that. It's pretty powerful. So what are you guys really proud of these days that you're working on? Like, what's getting you excited? Are there any new projects that you're sitting on that are waiting to be released, or is there anything in the short term future that like, I see you grinning over there, so
I'm grinning because it's just like, it's when you've been like, as an artist, like, when, as you were saying earlier, like, you ask artists, is this a hobby or their life, you know? And it's like, when it's your life, but like, you haven't released anything recently, like, because through so many things in life that you've had to deal with to put yourself as an artist first, it's like, you've worked through so many things to be at the point where it's like, I'm just excited to drop my music, because it's like, it wasn't easy for me to come to Vancouver and be an artist. Like, there were so many other things in my environment and like what was going on with me at the time for me to be here.
Okay.
And then like holding on to the music and like people like hearing previews and just like that support just makes you want to like keep going, you know what I mean? And like, we just been working on production. Like, I think the quality of production's our number one, like, that's our number one thing, like, quality of production. So we've been working hard on that, and there will be something dropping in like the next month for sure. Do
either of you guys produce beyond, like, when you're talking production, do either of you guys make beats? Have you ever sat down and constructed a beat like from scratch with like a MIDI keyboard, for example, or a drum machine?
Yeah, I started producing beats 2 months ago, I'll say.
Oh shit, okay.
I've been working with Ableton a lot. I use Logic too. And just been making beats, you know, just starting, but most of the beats we use for our songs is made by other producers that we know, like we worked with. Like we literally have every single songs we have is a beat from a producer. You know, and mostly like the question you asked with music is we have, you know, we recorded a lot of songs with you, you know, and and it's in the vault, you know, like there's a lot of songs.
It's literally like
that we excited to put out. But as an artist, you know, we've done this in the past, just recorded songs and put it out with no sort of promotion, you know, no market, you just no marketing, you know, just put the song out there and hopefully it catches a wave. Yeah. But we realize that's not a way this industry
That's not
works.
the right approach.
That's not the right approach. That's why we haven't really put a lot of our, you know, our work and songs out yet.
Sure.
But I feel like we learned from like what we did put out, you know? Yeah. Like from what we did put out, like it did, like from where we're from in Edmonton, like we had a really good wave, like from what we put out, and that was like a learning lesson on experience. What really connects with people and what doesn't.
Yeah, if we just feel like with music, you know, like it's a business. You know, just trying to separate ourselves from other artists that just keep feeding people music, but it's not getting anywhere. People hear your music. Okay, this is a new release this week. Okay, this go to it. The next week you release another song. This go to it. Your song is not really reaching an audience.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's more important to find one record and invest all of your resources into it and push that than just spit out 14 songs. And in like we were saying before, they just get disappear into the Instagram feed. So yeah,
it's like sacrificing.
It is, yeah. But that trial and error is going to teach you that, like you said, you know, then there's nothing wrong with that. You've tried it one way and, you know, you're learning, and that's what this whole thing is about. Like the funny thing about the music industry and other industries, I guess, as well, but there doesn't seem to be a blueprint, really.
There's no formula.
There's no formula. Yeah. Like some people are going to you know, someone like Lil Pump, like who could have predicted that? You know,
No way. But there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff like to it happening. Like those artists definitely like to reach that success. Like there has to be something work done. I don't believe the bullshit. Like I just put my song up.
I was reading a blog about Lil Pump's hit songs and the strategy behind the song Gucci Gang being that big of a hit. It was. You know, there was a marketing and promotional strategy they used on Lil Pump as an artist himself. You know, coming from a SoundCloud rapper or a mumble rapper, whatever they call him, you know what I mean? To a big #1 hit on the Billboard.
They branded him.
You know, they actually branded him. There was a strategy behind that. You know?
Like branding.
All those artists, you know, like there was a marketing strategy and the artist branding strategy they used.
They entertained their audience, you know?
Right? And with the feuds, you know, like fighting with other artists on social media, that's one of the strategies too, you know, like to build those artists up, clout. You know, just gaining clout, you know, that's what it was.
There's a lot going on behind the scenes and a lot of people involved as well, pulling strings and, you know, having your team in place is so crucial. That's been a theme that we've brought up on a bunch of episodes so far, is like you see the people that are really making it and they're not doing everything themselves. They've got close crew of people around them that they trust, and you know, they've got the designer, the photographer, the stylist, the social media person, the engineers, but they're just kind of the star of the show, right? But there's all this other stuff happening.
Right. You definitely need a team for as an artist to be successful.
It's hard when you're not that big yet, because it's like the people that invest in you, they really gotta like
really believe.
You have to show,
you have to show people you're worth their time and investment. And it's hard to find, you know, like we being an artist, you know, we mostly do everything by ourselves, which is, you know, for a starter, you know, just starting out as an artist, trying to show people and make it, you know, like to that point where people want to invest in you. It's hard to you know, to get to that point on your own. We've been doing it on our own, you know, but you definitely need a team at some point to make it happen, to be successful, you know.
What do you think's been one of the biggest challenges in convincing people that you're worth their time? Like, how do you guys go about that? How do you find...
Honestly, like, if I was to answer that, like, the straight feeling I felt off of that would be, like, it's not even about convincing people. It's just, like, for one, it's, like, you in or out. You know what I mean? Like, there isn't really, like, I feel like you can't really... If someone's really with you, they'll be with you. Like, a lot of people, like, dick ride, and then, like, later on, it's just, like, time shows that they're not with it. So it's, like, I feel like you just got to just do your music, and people either really fuck with it. You can't really convince them, except for with your determination and drive. You know, like...
Yeah, I feel like we've tried in the past, not really us trying, but it's just trying to get people to be a part of the team. You know, to create a team. But at the end of the day, you notice no one wants to sacrifice their time or their money or you know, into your own future. They rather do it for themselves, and that's fine. You know, that's you know, that's not, we're not mad at that. You know,
but like the people that did support us were always people who wasn't, even apart from the music, they invested in us as people, like as like the way we saw things. Like a lot of people when we came to Vancouver, like random people that we became so close with, it was the relationship built, and they invested themselves in us as people. Like it wasn't just the music.
Yeah, it's hard to get people to sacrifice time and money or whatever into your future. But I feel like the biggest obstacle is, you know, actually getting people together and people playing their part in a team. You know, like nobody ever plays a part. You know, like you say, okay, you're part of this team now. We want to achieve this goal. Okay, this is your part of what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
This is your part.
Yes.
With us, we will play our part because it's literally our future. You know, it's about being successful as an artist.
Everybody on the team,
but everyone else would get halfway and then pull back. You know, that's the biggest obstacle.
Like they're not ready to ride.
They're not ready to ride all the way.
But they're always there for like the turn up. Like when we used to do shows, like 401 was all about like partying back in the day. Like we used to, there was always people, like it was our neighborhood that was always coming for parties, and like those people on the team that was supposed to be a photographer, like that's why there's no content from the past, because the photographers partying, you know, like no one wants to play their role. But like when it's like when there's no partying going on, it's like those people are never around, you know?
They're there for the fun.
They're there for the fun and the turn up and the shows, but they're not there for everything
right
after.
now we're just moving by ourselves, you know, like, you know, not really looking for, you know, like we believe you're the only one that will get yourself anywhere you want to be. You know, if you work as hard as you can and put out work and good content, that will attract the right people to you, you know, as an artist, you know, and that's what we're trying to do right now, is just put out our work, promote it as much as we can, you know, like put out the best content as we can, you know, like, and then that would, you know,
and networking the industry.
And that would attract the right people, you know, to want to invest and look into this, you know,
like you can't just do it. You can't just do it for your bros, you know, like it's just not. And like we tried, like we used to have like a whole gang of people ride with us, like through thick and thin. But it's like that's not their path. They're not artists, so they'll only follow you so far, and then they'll realize like, whoa, like
what am I doing?
What am I doing?
Like,
I don't even make music.
They're just along for the ride.
Yeah, it's just like those people become dead weight at the end, because like they're on their own path. They can't just follow you around and like. Yeah, that's funny.
Do you guys make music separately at all, or is everything kind of just the two of you, like Big Boy and Andre? Is it always a team effort, or is it ever?
You know, most times it's usually like I'm making a song and I can't finish it, or I'm thinking and he's right there.
And I'm right there.
And it's just like start freestyling on the beat.
Okay.
And it's hard for us to make singles because we usually always
like
together
nowadays,
in the studio.
like we've definitely like taken a different distinct sound. Like we've like in the last year, it's been like more independent music and like that, and like it's been a different, like it's been a change.
You would call it a group. You would kind of, we're not a group, but
people would see it as a group. But like as I think as we start to release, people realize like we individual artists, but we have so many songs together.
I see.
It's just like
definitely. We have a lot of singles.
Yeah,
you know, still, but most 80% of the songs we have is featured. You know,
the both of you on them.
It's both of us on it, and it's a featured song. It's not like a group song, you know, like he has a song. It's okay, I'll feature you on this.
It's never never really released as a group. It's just like me he's featuring me, or I'm featuring him.
I see.
Yeah.
There's a word for that. I can't think of it right now. Where, you know, you're not feeding off of each other, like you're sucking the energy, but you're almost like feeding the energy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In an uplifting way, like there's a fucking science name for that, like in nature where something is.
I get what you're
saying. I know what you're saying. Fuck.
Symbiotic, is that the word?
It's
maybe?
Like a mutual. It's a mutual. Like I know what you're saying.
It's like sometimes I start a song, and you know, when as an artist or producer or whatever, you know, like you get this creative start into something and you hit a dead end,
and then
you know, like, and then
I hear what he says.
He comes in
like,
and he like, okay, he picks it up from there, and I get a inspiration from know what, you know, and continue the song. He might not even have a verse on it or anything. It's just freestyling on it, and I'm like, okay, maybe that's how I should approach the verse or the second verse, and I just, you know, do that through his flow and vice versa. He might be doing something too, and I just got there. I'm like, okay, sing this part, you know what I mean? Like we tell each other, you know, like we feed off each other, like you said, you know what I mean? And that's the
just because like just the love for each other, like in the studio when we're talking about something, just that love for each other, it just makes us like feed off of each other. Really, like a lot of stuff just happens in the moment, just off the energy, like especially at 2-track too, when it's the three of us, like that energy. When it's that good, it's just like
in the
feeding
zone.
off of everybody. Like when you see the reaction on the producer's face or the engineer or your homie, it's like, okay, that's what it is.
Exactly. You know, it's all about how you come across that creativity. You know, like how you achieve the end goal of making a banger, as they call it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we listen to most of our songs, unreleased stuff, and it makes you happy. Like, like, okay, I made this, then I'm pretty sure I have a bright future in this music industry. Something is coming. You know, even though it's unreleased.
Like, you should hear that. You should hear that in your music. Like, especially
you feel that with your own music. If you don't feel that, you know,
how can you expect anyone else to, you know?
Exactly. Right? If you're not even, and especially when you're like on your underground hustle, it's hard going like months underground without recognition and stuff. It's like, but when you listen to your music, and it's like, damn, I got it. Like, there's no like, you just know it will work out.
And sometimes you get that rush to want to put something out. This is so good, I should put it out right now. But then if I put it out right now, it's just gonna be out there, you know, like you won't reach, you know, like if you don't do the right, you know, backing, like right promotion and the right things you're supposed to do, marketing, or like with a single track, you know, as in the music business, you know, we're trying to approach it as a business, you know, like, you know, not just as a hobby, you know, like as
the visuals are such a big thing. Like that's where most of the money and like investments is put into, like the visuals, because like you gotta like 50% is the audio, like of a feeling, but then it's like, what are people seeing? You know what I mean?
Right.
Are they seeing what they're hearing? You know what I mean?
Especially nowadays in this generation with phones, right? Like it's all visual.
Exactly.
You know? Whether it's a photo shoot or the, you know, a little clip from the video or the full video itself that you're watching. Like I don't think it's ever been as important now to have videos.
Right.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because that's actually something I wanted to ask you guys. Like, what has that experience been like for you? Not like once the song's finished, mixed and mastered, like, you know, making a storyboard for a video or finding a director or stuff like that. Like, how does that go?
It's not.
We really tried set up couple, you know, to collaborate with couple videographers and, you know, like film, cinematography or
filmographers, I think they call themselves.
You know, like we have it set up, but it takes time and planning, like there's
a lot of creativity
go into it.
And it's like you got this creativity, it's like how you got to make sure that it can be produced the right way, like as you see it. Like I think as the way we picture things and videos, it's like we want it to come to life like that. And that,
you know, when you make a song, right when you're making that song, you already picture
what the video is
gonna be like.
And it's not just like the camera jumping in front of the camera. Like they gotta, you know what I mean? Like it can't just be the local artists need to think like, you can't just do a local artist video. You gotta do something that's like.
I guess this is just our perspective.
Yeah.
It's like we definitely perfectionists, and sometimes you feel like not everything could be perfect. Yeah. You know, like that's why you wait for things to be the right time. But
then there's not always the right time.
There's not always the right
it's
time.
Like
and then
you gotta work with what you have. There's not the right time.
And then, you know, most times we just like, okay, we have this song ready to go. You know, like, and we could shoot the video for it next week. But is this the right time, or is there enough time to plan this? And you know, like working with directors and stuff like that, like it takes a lot. It costs so much, and like
nobody's
cost definitely an issue with artists. That's the biggest factor,
especially artists coming up, just coming up when you got no label or support, whatever, backing you.
You do it all by yourself.
So there's your day job's paying for your video, and it's difficult trying to find the right people, the right budget, and then at the end you want like a high quality product too. So how do you balance all that? It's a lot of variables.
Exactly.
It's a tough equation.
Yeah.
Exactly. You could tell, like, to get that professional sound just in your track, you can tell how much you spend in the studio. You know what I mean? Like when we have sessions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's coming out of the artist's pocket.
And that's how you know somebody's serious. The quality of production.
Yes.
Like,
you know what I mean?
People don't want to invest the big money for like.
That's coming out of the artist's pocket.
Straight.
You know what I mean? Like all this music production, studio session, it's coming out of the artist's pocket.
Yeah.
And when you put that together, trying to shoot a music video, trying to do a photo shoot for your Instagram, trying to promote your song, market your song, trying to do every other stuff you gotta do as an artist.
All out of pocket.
Like all out of the artist's pocket. At the end of the day, you still got bills.
Yeah.
You're not signed yet. You're not getting shows yet.
And we're living in Vancouver, for God's sakes, on top of all that.
Right? All that costs, like all that costs.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming for upcoming local artists, upcoming artists. And
yeah, man.
And I think that's the biggest issue with every other artist, like every artist coming out.
Well, that's like the local artist. That's definitely like setting yourself up as actually like working in the future to actually sustain yourself as an artist.
Yeah.
Like that's what you in the music industry, not anything else. That's
definitely. And that's why we kind of like aim to make money off this shit.
Yeah.
Off the bat. It might not be off the bat, but like put ourselves in a position that when we start releasing stuff and making moves as an artist, we putting ourselves in that position that we can monetize our content. Not just putting this stuff out and it's not in the right quality or for people to
like
look at it.
You gotta be
like
consistent. Like if I drop like for example, when we drop our first song, there'll be another song and video next week. Like having it all like
you've already got that lined up.
Exactly. So like when you hit people the first time, you reach 600 people. It's like the next time, maybe 300 from the last reach will follow you to the next week.
I see.
And it's just like keeping that momentum, boom, banger after banger.
Right.
Yep. It's consistency, man.
It's just planning. Yeah.
But yeah, and then you want to also, make that good first impression too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which is super important because if you
fuck
got
up
shaky camera work and bad recording and mix, and then that's how you're going to be remembered if you're really trying to make an impact. So it just becomes that much more obvious and important that investing in the quality is so necessary.
Definitely.
And that's what separates the amateurs from the people that go to the next level, is their willingness to actually invest in the product.
Yeah.
And when they realize, like, I can do this at homie's crib, or I can get it, I can go pay some engineers to do a real mix for me. And it's going to sound tight. And then people play that off their phone, off the car, wherever, and it's going to sound dope no matter what. And then people will see you as, oh, this is a person, I like their music, but I also like the whole package that it's in,
the whole look.
That it's the wrapping paper that it's put in, the whole the presentation of it.
You gotta come in strong, I think. That's what we think. You gotta come in strong. If you want to match, you gotta be able to at least try to match up with these people that are doing it professionally. Not when we say Drake is at the top.
Yeah.
Okay, but like your sound can't sound like you record it on the iPhone.
Like the quality production.
You gotta be at least close to the quality of
Vancouver's
of
like
this
on
big
top of
artist.
that.
You know what I mean? Like that's when people are gonna take you serious.
Totally. Yeah.
And that takes planning and investing a lot. So that's really what we doing and
investing in the dream.
In the dream.
Vancouver's on top of that. Like if you look like Toronto's, like everyone knows all the hot artists come out of Toronto, but Vancouver's like everybody. Like I've met so many artists like back in Edmonton's, like you talk to people about marketing, branding, they don't really
know
get
about
it.
it.
Local artists don't really, they're not on that. But like Vancouver, like nah, you meet somebody who's like, yeah, I know about that too. It's like
it's a business, you know, out here, yeah.
And people actually, there are a lot of artists out here coming up, like they move like a business. That's respect.
So you guys have definitely noticed a difference in Edmonton scene to the Vancouver scene.
Location's everything, man. To a certain point.
You know, we just the bigger the scene in every location or city you go, the wider your vision, your view of the industry will get, your knowledge also, right? You know, like we moving from Edmonton to Vancouver as an artist, we learned a lot, like just about the music industry, and me also going to obviously music school helps a lot. Totally. You know, you gain a lot of knowledge and a different view of the industry, and that helps a lot, you know. And Vancouver is really on top of it, even though there's not really. You
got to be serious to come out here, especially when you're coming like by yourself. You're not coming here to play, you know.
we never in it for play as an artist. We
people
always
think it's all play. Like they see you in Vancouver, like, yo, bro, you're in Vancouver. Like, damn, my niggas. Like,
these are people back home that are hitting you up now?
people back home, and they're like, yo, I see you. It's like, yo, it's not a joke. Like, you know, like it's not. People think like you're out here on vacation. It's like, no.
No, they don't see all the work that's going on.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
There's a lot of underground work going on.
Yeah.
You know, you just keep it quiet, keep it on the low, do the groundwork until you're ready to present it to people the right way.
Like patience.
Yeah, patience.
You're not racing with anybody. Like everyone will have their time. If you know what I mean. A lot of people are like, yo, this guy just dropped. Like this is the thinking back home. Like this guy just dropped. Yo, fam, I gotta drop now. You know what I mean? But it's like you can't be racing with anybody. Like this guy might have put so much work into his sound. Yeah. And you can't just be racing with people.
I don't know if they're. Yeah, like I don't think. I haven't become aware of that mentality here. So that's good. I think that's a healthy thing.
That's good. Everybody supports each other here. It's so dope.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to reinforce really with this podcast as well, is to create a community. Because if we all, like, if one of us blows up, Vancouver blows up. Let's face it. You know?
Exactly.
So, you know, we can have competition. Competition is healthy. It's going to sharpen the sword, but ultimately, like, we all got to work together. We all got to collaborate and push the content out to put this on the map.
And it's positive energy here in Vancouver.
Put the city on the map, definitely.
Yeah.
It's positive energy in this city. Like, it's not like in other cities, it's like gang violence, like people are beefing each other, but it's like, it's just positive energy. People are leaving like whatever streets there is, they're not bringing it into the music or putting it online. They're just putting themselves out as artists.
Yeah.
You know?
Music first, creativity first. Yeah.
Positivity in the city.
That's good. That's the West Coast vibe, I think. A little bit more laid back, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not quite as much as our neighbors to the south in Cali, but there is definitely a vibe on the West Coast, isn't there? I've never lived anywhere else. I've spent quite a bit of time in Europe, but I've never
nowhere else
lived
in Canada?
I've never lived. I mean, Victoria, but that's like a boat trip away.
Yeah.
But it's very similar there. It's just smaller and less people.
Victoria's popping with music too. I've seen a lot of artists coming out of Victoria, like local artists. And they're doing shows, and they're really making
It's getting better. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is the hub. Like, this is where it's happening.
Yeah, it's really going down. Yeah. And you're right with that. You know, like getting the city on the map first. You know, like no matter who gets there first. You know, like just getting the city on the map, and then that will help every other local artist.
Totally.
Because there's gonna be a lot of highs on the city once someone pop up.
A lot of attention.
Yeah, I think attention on the city, and that's good for every other local artist. Everyone, producers, everyone.
If someone blows up, that doesn't mean there's less success for you. They're not somehow taking away from you by being more successful than you.
Exactly.
That's this mentality that people don't understand.
And you know that's big in the music industry. Jealousy.
Ego,
envy, ego.
People don't realize as an artist you're a community leader. Like you're a community leader. You gotta fucking give back to the community. Like it's not just about like balling out like honestly, you'll never make it as a rapper if you're just thinking about the money and the girls and like all that other stuff. That won't be enough to like get you.
Some motherfuckers make it.
Nah, there's something more to it. Like
yeah, but they come and go. You know?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's quick fame.
And if you're like dropping as for your city, like you gotta remember you're a fucking
an ambassador.
An ambassador. Yeah. That's what it is.
When you guys started making music, was there one of you that pulled the other one into it more, or were you guys like both equally like, yeah, let's do this? Or was it Lukingz being like, oh, come try this with me, come in the studio with me, or were you guys both on the same page the whole way from the beginning?
We just been like into music. You know, like since we met each other, you know, like we didn't grow up together, since we met each other.
Like when he was back home in Nigeria, my mom always used to say like, yo, this guy's rapping, like back home he's a big musician in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And like by the time he came back in high school, like I was already part of a rap group.
Okay.
And then then 4-1 happened and like.
So you guys both kind of even in your separate ways we're pursuing music and then
music from an early age.
Yeah.
You know, like when I was probably like 14, 15, you know, this was in Nigeria, you know, like I was already making music.
Okay.
You know, I was like a little neighborhood not star you call it, but like, you know, like everyone knows
people
my name.
Knew about
you.
Okay.
They just know I do music on the side. They know me for other stuff, like maybe street shit, you know what I mean? But they know I do music and I'm good with music too.
We
you know?
definitely
like,
shared like
we shared the passion for music from
like
he
brought like he first introduced me to like the whole like Afro hall and then like I introduced him to like
he actually introduced me to a lot
like
of like
Chief Keef, like
more
these guys did it
music.
like yeah.
You know, like that's where I got, you know, it's hard putting together.
But honestly, to tell you the truth, like he pushed me like to actually like say fuck all this other shit. Like yo, like bro, this is the music, that's what's important. Like he definitely like I had the passion always. But like I had my head in so many other things at the time. But like he definitely like said, nah bro, like okay, come on, like
got
this
you to
music,
pull your socks
like,
up a little bit.
Like you gotta more work ethic.
Yeah.
Like I always had the passion, but he definitely put me on that work ethic. Definitely.
You know, like whatever I know, he knows about music. Whatever he knows, I know. You know, even starting music school, whatever I learned in school.
Oh yeah, I
get back home. He knows how to run Pro Tools.
It's like
and all that.
It's like one tuition for two people.
Yeah, honestly,
I'm
like,
going to Nimbus. Boom! I'm hitting up Nimbus all the time. They know me there.
You know, like it's always been like it's like one person.
Oh yeah,
we both like one person,
and like we're able to move forward because we share the same vision and mentality.
Yeah,
like
if it was just one of us, we wouldn't even be we wouldn't be close to what we are like today. Even though we're still trying to get up there, but like both of us always. Pushing each other. You know, even when we're
and that bond just comes outside of music. Like that bond just comes through life, and you put that gear towards music.
And we kind of our own team. You know what I mean? It's like this is the team. You know what I mean? We used to have a whole team. Yeah. We've had team of 10 people, a group of 10 people.
I feel like
and
when
it didn't work out.
I feel like you learn a lot. You see like people's true colors come out. Like back at 4-1, back in our city, when we first started, we had like our whole wave. Like we were lucky enough to be able to get like shows and stuff. And it's like the whole team was there. Like we had like we were talking about before.
We put in the work.
We put in the work, definitely. But it was just like, it's not normal for you to just, boom, start performing right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and the whole group, but then it's like people disappear along the road. It's like, I don't know. There's
survival of the fittest. The people that are serious are going to stick through the difficult times, and the people that recognize your level of professionalism, your attitude, your work ethic, you're going to attract those types of people in your life. Just definitely, naturally, the universe is going to kind of give those things to you. And then, like you said, the people that are just along for the limousines and the champagne.
Fun. Like, damn, it's just crazy to see how people like. It's crazy how like. everybody could be with you one moment, but it's like as soon as like, you know, something happens in your life that takes you away from this music, it's just like, boom.
You know, I've always like looked at anybody I meet that tell me they're artists, and it's just I've always trying to figure out what are you really about. You know, like before I work with anybody, you know, like what are you really about? That's why you never see like me or him on most of like. It's good to collaborate. It's the best networking. It's the best thing, but like. There's a lot of people calling themselves artists out here,
but
it's just for
they
fun.
haven't made those sacrifices.
There's no sacrifice to it, you know.
But you could call yourself an artist, but don't like. But like, I think if you say like a professional artist or like, you know what I mean? Because like an artist can be someone with just a passion, but like when you say like a professional artist. Like people haven't made that.
There almost needs to be like a new word for it.
Yeah, honestly, like someone who's like devoted. Like
that's got to be another. We got to have another term for that because it's one. You know, there's nothing wrong with being creative in making songs, and that's great.
Yeah.
But then, are you an artist just by the fact that you know, own a microphone and have recorded a song? Does that make you an artist, or taking it to the next level is, you know, what do we call that?
Yeah. No,
exactly. You know, like definitely. You need to treat it like a day job. You know.
Yes.
It's not even it's just all in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if you're not even making music, your head's always in it, always thinking. Like.
Yeah, not just about the music, thinking strategies, thinking about your next move.
You gotta manifest what's happening in the present into the future.
I believe the music is only 20% of the action. You know, like the music, there's so much other stuff that comes in that you need to do to match up with the music to get yourself up there as an artist. And you know that, you know, like we started knowing that, you know, getting that knowledge too, right? So like most artists is just making the music and putting it out. Yeah. You know, like just there's so much more to it than the music. Those are just the songs.
No, those are some strong words of advice, man, for sure. So before we get you guys out of here, is there anything that you wanted to say to the fans? Anything pressing on your mind? Anything? Any local? Any news in the industry that you're dying to talk about? Anything you've seen recently?
Yo, no cap, it's done, man. Like when it's dropping season, Max, like it's just we're really excited to show what's been going on behind scene for the last like 2 years and stuff.
Cool.
For sure.
Yeah, it's been a long run. We're still going. You know, like it's never ending. You know, even when like we get there, it's been a long run, and our fans respect her.
Like for the true fans, like there were a lot of people who show love, but the true fans are the people like till now that like they just asking like, bro, what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, salute to them. So much respect to those people.
For fans out there, I would say just thanks for sticking around still, you know. But like it's been we've been working. We've been working really hard to present a masterpiece, you know, like a very good piece of work, creativity, you know, not just anything, you know, to put out there and just make the world listen, pay attention to us as an artist, through the music, you know, through our content, through our creativity, and expect the best from Lukingz and Dior and 4-1 Rex.
This is just the beginning, right, boys?
This is just the beginning. It's just the start, you know what it is? We taking over.
Shout out to Max for showing the love,
city
man.
on the map,
2 Tracks showed the first love to us when we came to YVR.
For sure, yes.
Thanks, guys.
Definitely.
Well, it's my pleasure. Where can people find you online if they don't already know? Like, where's the music at if they want to check that out?
You can find me on Instagram at Lukingz_. Click the link on my bio. You take you to my content, my music.
Perfect.
You could catch us. You could get both of our Instagrams at 41_Inc, right?
Yeah, definitely.
41_Inc.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can get my IG with all the drip at Dior on Flex.
There you go. You heard it here first, right?
You got to go show love and support to the boys.
Check out what we about.
Go check out what it is. It's more. It's much more than the music. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's
you know? That's like we said, we've been saying from the beginning, all in, right?
All in,
a lifestyle artist.
All into it.
A lifestyle artist.
A lifestyle artist.
All in.
I might have to coin that.
Shout out to Max. Shout out to 2Track.
Thanks, you guys.
4-1.
All right. Thanks everybody for checking us out, and we'll have the link up to these boys' music when the show drops.
Yeah.
Make sure you check that out. All right.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Thanks everybody. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Peace.
Nice.